Okay. Actually, do you want an intro? Since Shane's not here.
Hi, this is not Shane with the Wasteland Podcast. I'm here with Tyler.
Hello. I'm usually still the co-host, so this is normal. The other part's not normal, though.
Yeah. So welcome to episode
65.
65.
Schwittifive, 65.
55, 65. We're
Yeah.
real close to 69.
Yeah, we're getting there. And you know you better shave your pubes for that day, because...
I don't shave my pubes for nothing.
I don't shave my pubes for nothing.
I'm hairy as the day I was born.
What if you actually were still, like... What if you just didn't have body hair?
I had a friend who was born with, he was a preemie.
Yeah.
And so when you're in the womb, before you hit the final stage or whatever, you're completely coated in body hair.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
And so he was born with full body hair, and he was always weirdly hairy because of
That's
that.
fucking crazy. I had no idea. I need to look this up. Hairy babies.
I don't remember what it's called, but it was his mom would talk about it all the time, and he really didn't like that.
I'll just look up hairy babies and see what's coming, but hopefully it's not just a bunch of photoshops. But there's a new Netflix show that's like a hybrid animal baby thing, human hybrid animal, and the picture for it and the little video, if you hover over it, it's just someone holding the baby, and it's just like a human baby with CGI fur and a deer nose or something. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's...
It looks too realistic for what it is.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of it, so this is just me talking shit. But it sounds like a weird step in the furry direction.
Oh, yeah.
They did the... What was it? What was it? It was like a deer cop or something. I don't know.
Deer cop?
I don't remember.
A real show?
It was an animated thing.
Animated or anime? Because there is BoJack Horseman.
No.
And then there's Beastars, which is the anime.
Beastars is what I'm talking about.
Beastars is literally the furry, they're drawn, because anime characters are always realistic looking, which is why they get sexualized so easily, because it's right there. All you gotta do is draw them in a certain outfit, and boom, you got it.
It goes from anime to hentai really quick.
And so then you get Beastars, where at this point it's straight up the furry art style, where they're practically sexualized. They have the figures, and it's not like the shows. You have to remember, anime is popular with women, incredibly popular with women.
Yeah.
And so this show is more for their gaze than it is for the male gaze.
Right.
I mean, or whatever, gay bi men too. And so you get these big, burly, muscular wolves and deers and eagles and everything else.
Just
lion. The one thing I like about that show, I actually really like the show. The main character.
I've heard that it's a good show.
The main character being a wolf was badass because wolves are fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then the gangsters, so adult bad guy mafia men, they're all lions. That's cool.
Yeah.
And there's one guy who lives in the underbelly of the city, and he's a retired cop who just hunts down criminals on as a vigilante, which comes out of nowhere 10 episodes in, because it's mostly high school drama.
Okay.
And he comes up with a fucking crossbow and shoots bamboo, which gives away what animal he is. He's a fucking panda, who hunts down
lions.
Yeah, it's fucking bad. That is where the show becomes cool. But whenever the rabbit girl character gets in her underwear, I'm all right.
They got it. What do they call that?
What?
Where you do something just for where a show can have a plot, but also they just look,
a fan service scene.
Fan service, where it's where
they do something
the beach bikini episode, and it's all right, so it's a show with plot, and then
there's ways to do fan service good and bad, and I would argue that sex scenes and scenes of characters in underwear can have something for the story.
Yeah,
and this show it played into these two characters' relationship and how they were not at all what you might have expected. The wolf character is afraid of girls, and the bunny character is a huge slut. So it's kind of the opposite of what you might have expected. It was her being the innocent one. But it's still like, you know, the camera's zooming in on stuff, and I'm like, this does nothing for me.
It's not Zootopia.
I don't want to see this. I am not into this. I don't want to see this. But anyway, yeah, Beastars. It's a good anime. I like it. But a lot of people like BoJack Horseman, which
I
is
like that.
also like, it's not furry, but like the fandom have got to be full of furries, right?
They like
there's got to be a bunch of furries who watch the show.
There probably is. I think it does help with that show. I don't even know if help's the right word, but that they kind of take that entire aspect of the show with like a tongue in cheek kind of thing.
Yeah. It's all played for laughs mostly.
It's all played for laughs, and it's like there's definitely people who masturbate to that show.
Oh, for sure,
but
yeah,
it's
because
like,
their bodies are.
It's not designed for that.
No, and it helps that Will Arnett's character BoJack. You know, if you couldn't figure out the main character's name, it's BoJack.
Yeah.
He's like schlubby. He's like fat, and you know, like he's not like an attractive horseman.
He's not attractive at all.
He's like, you know, he's a schlubby little horseman. But I love the golden retriever character because he is like what you would think. Like, what would a golden retriever do if he could actually walk and talk? And that's what this character.
And he would.
And he mostly just tries to serve his girlfriend basically because he's a golden retriever. And so I like that. I like when they do jokes with the animals where it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The girl he likes is like a cat, and she's kind of bitchy. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Simple enough. I get the joke. I get what you mean. BoJack has a giant penis because he's a horse. I'm joking. I have no idea if they even reference penises in that show.
They definitely do.
Did they reference that he has a giant one? Because they're missing a great opportunity.
I think
they got to have at least one joke where they're like, I thought horses were big or something like that. They got to have one joke about it.
I don't know. I don't remember, honestly. I haven't rewatched the whole show in a while.
I've only seen like half of season 1, so... Actually, I might have seen most of season 1 by now.
I watched the whole thing.
And I enjoyed it.
Like, as it came out.
I think people said it gets better later on, but I actually enjoyed it since episode 1. I think it's good. The only reason I stopped watching it is just because I wanted to watch something else, and I just kind of lost interest.
It's one of those shows that builds, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, they keep... So, like, he's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
They just keep building up.
Yeah.
With that, like, it's not like instead of being like, oh, but he gets better, it's like, oh, he gets better, but then actually he made everything worse by.
You see, a lot of people I know watch that show, and they're like, I relate to BoJack because I'm a piece of shit, but I'm a lovable piece of shit, and I'm glad that, like, if you actually watch BoJack Horseman, and I've heard other people say this too, that if you actually watch it, it's not really glorifying the culture, you know.
No, it makes fun of Hollywood all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's kind of like you don't really want to be like these guys.
Not at all.
And so a lot of people who watch it are like, they are similar to BoJack. Like, they're very self-destructive and they love this character, and it's like, okay, but you need to do something about it. You don't want to be like BoJack, basically.
Right.
You don't want to be like a lot of the characters in the show. So, I mean, it's fun and relatable when you see complicated characters doing weird shit that, you know, isn't the best. And you're like, you know, you can relate to it more because you've also done weird shit. But it should be a nice wake up call for you as well if it's getting bad. So
yeah, I think it does a good job of that.
That's good.
It ends on a good note too.
It's over. Like, it's no more episodes.
So the writers were going to unionize.
Yeah.
And so Netflix pulled the plug on them, and on Adult Swim ended up picking it up. I've never watched it, but the show...
Adult Swim has BoJack Horseman?
Tuca and Birdie. It's by the same creators.
Oh, it's on Netflix, I thought.
Season 1 is, and then Adult Swim picked up the next season because they got canceled because they were going to unionize.
Wow. Okay, so BoJack is over, but the series in the universe is still going?
I think it's in the same universe. It's definitely like Bird People.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, and I assumed it was a spin-off, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's a true spin-off or not.
I don't think it follows any of the original characters. I don't think any original characters
right, which is fine.
Show up.
That's fine, because...
But I think it is in the same universe.
Yeah, that's cool. So speaking of animal characters, it's also my favorite animal characters anniversary.
Yep. Is that today or
I don't know
this
if it's,
week?
It's this week. It's like June 26th or 27th or something.
Okay.
But I remember Sonic 1 came out in 1991, and so we're in 2021. So
Yeah.
and Sonic Adventure 2 came out in 2001. Also, 9/11 dropped after that, and then Adventure 2 got released again on GameCube, but it got released on Dreamcast and GameCube the same year, which is wild to think about because that was Sega's actual console, and then they went third party in the same year.
On GameCube would have been their direct competition. That would have been like PS4 putting out, Spider-Man, and then being like, oh, and it's on Xbox too.
Yeah,
like
that. Yeah, it's hard to think. At the time, it was crazy to think about that. Sega was like biting the dust, and then it got revived and somehow saved, and they're like, we're just going third party now.
Yeah,
which was the only thing they could do really. Which also, Monkey Ball, it's Monkey Ball's anniversary too. In the new Monkey Ball game, you can play as Sonic or Tails, which is cool. You can also play as a Game Gear or a Sega Saturn, or because they're just having fun with it at this point. I mean, the monkey characters are fine too, but I'll totally play Sonic. Like that's awesome. So,
yeah,
I love that they do that shit. And yeah, did you? I don't play Minecraft. I don't own Minecraft, but the Sonic update actually has like levels in it from Sonic, like recreated in Minecraft.
Okay.
And like Sonic runs and jumps. Like his jump, he goes into like a spin ball jump, and
so I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, I have to show you the video because it actually looks really fun. And then they were showing like, cause it's Minecraft, so of course it was multiple Sonic characters on the same levels, all playing the Sonic level. I'm like, this is fucking. I kind of want to play this.
Yeah.
But I don't own Minecraft, but maybe I'll get it because I just want to play the Sonic levels, and then maybe I'll get into more regular Minecraft stuff. I don't know.
Minecraft is one of those things where the base game might not be for everyone.
Yeah.
But the modding community is probably the biggest modding community of any game. Like, I know GTA has a lot of online mods.
Yeah, but the difference is Rockstar cracks down on it and tries to get rid of that shit.
Minecraft just leans into it. It's like,
they
so long as you're not fucking up anybody else's server, like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, and Minecraft is really easy to access to other people too and see what they're doing, and so like you can join people's servers and when they have like their little villages and stuff. So
yeah,
all that stuff is great. I've always liked that concept, but it's just a lot of people who get into it have like a bunch of friends like in a group they play with, and I don't know
especially if you do like
with.
Survival mode.
Yeah, which that does appeal to me. I don't even care about the mining and building. I don't even care about like building my own home, even though it's cool. The way they have it set up is cool, but the surviving stuff would be fun, especially because it's a multiplayer experience.
Yeah,
so that's why it's fun. But
whenever I played a lot, I always wanted to start a multiplayer survival server.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, I like that idea. But yeah, so Sonic's anniversary. So me and Jamie are going to play Sonic live. But this video will be up after we do that. But obviously the live footage will also be up. So there you go. We're going to play Sonic. Yeah, so Shane's not here. Because he's in San Francisco living it up. Having a blast. Making bread.
Making that dough.
Yeah. And so it's just me and Jerry. Me and Jerry are Sonic fans. So, which is why I was like, we should play Sonic.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Sonic's anniversary. His 30th anniversary. So, I gotta rep my boy. I know everyone likes to make fun of Sonic. I understand.
DeviantArt really did him no favors.
It's like, I don't even know when this started. I was on the internet.
It was like...
I was on the internet back then.
It was before I got on the internet.
It was just... like I remember... Because I was a kid, and this is what always happens. Every kid has like a story, if you're a Sonic fan, where you were Googling Sonic stuff, and then you saw two of the characters with no shoes on kissing.
Or like, I think the first thing I saw, where I was like, what the hell, was like Sonic 4.
It's always weird porn.
Yeah.
It's never normal porn.
And I didn't even know what I was looking at because I was like, 11 or whatever. I was like, and that's not one of the fetishes where you're like, oh, I get it because there's penis. Like, it's like...
You see Amy like super fat and you're like, what?
And then there's like tails inside and like Eggman's hugging her or whatever. And it's like...
There's a lot of Sonic inflation porn, which there's a bunch of like Newgrounds games where it's like Sonic Inflation Adventure. And it's fucking hilarious because it's played up for a joke.
Yeah.
And he kills all of his friends because he keeps inflating them too big. And he's like, but it's so worth it because it's so hot. So he keeps killing all the girls. And and then there's one where there's like one of the last ones, you wake up and it's a dream and you're a real human and you're still playing like it's like a game, like text adventure game.
Yeah.
And you're a real human now, and you work for Sonic Team and you pitch the idea for Sonic 06, and this is during the financial crisis, and so he's like, so the economy is going through inflation right now, and he goes, what did you say? And he's like, suddenly you got a huge erection. And then anytime a like board member talks about the inflation, he gets hotter and hotter. Like he gets like more and more turned on until he has like a panic attack and he takes all of his clothes off on the table and jerks off and then passes out. And they're like, you're fired.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the best thing ever. But I used to read webcomics, like fan comics people would make, and like you would just search Sonic stuff online because you like Sonic. I mean, Sonic Heroes was out when I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
And in that game, when you beat the game as Team Dark, there's an ending where Shadow finds out there's a shit ton of Shadow clones, and that he might not even be the original Shadow because he like died in Sonic Adventure 2. And so you're like, I need to know what happens. And so like you Google and then you find like Shadow and Sonic sucking each other off, and you're like, what is going on? Like you don't try to find it finds you.
It just,
there's so much of it though. Or like
the thing is, so I like that Google doesn't like, that's not the first thing it comes up with anymore, but Google used to be better.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost trade that back, that like every once in a while you see something you're not really looking for.
Now it's when you type something in, it's a bunch of videos first.
Yeah.
Then ads first, and then articles that say, hey, this thing you're talking about is a thing. And you're like, I just want to know about it. And the article is like useless article.
It's the sponsored, like, because, Google's an ad company.
So the whole first...
They're making their money off of these companies come to them and they're like, we want to be number one in the search results. And it's like, you're fucking useless.
But
like,
Google used to be, like, the first result was always the thing you actually wanted.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case anymore. Google,
now it's Pinterest or...
Yeah. Someone's Instagram it's always some bullshit that it's like, it's just useless. You can't even use Google anymore. But you can still, if you type in Sonic Vor on images, you'll still find...
You'll find what you're
the images function still works too good. But I typed in...
you can tell them what color you want.
Yeah.
With that, it's like, I want Sonic Vor brown. And it's...
Yeah.
It'll find you 600,000... different versions.
Sonic going to Browntown.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Sonic, but we all know that Sonic has got a fan base. I mean, and Chris Chan is like associated with Sonic, and that makes people think. Then there's Sonic EXE.
Yeah.
The creepypasta, which that was like the big first creepypasta with the video game, and after that, everyone would like make their own versions. But it all started with Sonic EXE, which. And then people like loved it so much. They got all this lore and fan games and shit. And it's like, dude, it's not even that good. It's like a Sonic plushie appears behind you or something.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of Sonic creepypastas. There's so many. It's so weird.
I don't think I've really come across those as much.
Some ordinary gamers like Mudahar.
I know the name.
He got bigger eventually. He's one of the guys. He beefed with H3H3 also. But Mudahar, he's also like, I don't know, he's just friends with people online. Anyway, he used to be. I really liked him when he did like dark web browsing, when he would like surf the dark web, and find like weird shit. Sometimes it'd be cool stuff, interesting stuff, funny stuff, and like stuff that's just like neat. And then he'd find like the conspiracy theories, the like cult websites, the like racist websites, and then he would find the child porn stuff, and he'd always report to the FBI. But he'd always try to find a video from the dark web and watch it, and that's where a lot of people make like scary videos. But a lot of those videos can be found on YouTube anyway. Yeah. It's just when you find out on the dark web, you're like, oh, what's this guy pretending to kill guy doing? But it's all pretend. It's never real.
Or very rarely anyway are those real.
Yeah. And so he also downloaded. There was a controversy with the game Sad Satan, and PewDiePie played it after Mudahar played it, and people noticed that the two games were not even the same at all. They're completely different. and Mudahar played it on a what do you call it? When he goes on the dark web, he always uses a virtual machine where you emulate Windows through Windows.
Okay.
So it's like you can see your screen, and then he has like Windows 98 up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not actually on Windows 98. I'm just that way. Nothing bad can happen to me. Like if it gets a virus, it's on the virtual machine. It's not on my machine.
Right.
So virtual machines are good if you want to play like old PC games that don't really work with new PCs anymore. And his virtual machine got super fucked up, and he said it got into his normal computer, and he got a bunch of viruses in his main computer, and he's like, it really sucked because he lost a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And he got the viruses from playing this game that also featured a bunch of gore in it, and he couldn't verify if it was real or fake. And the game PewDiePie played was not even the same game at all. So it's just like, what is this version of Sad Satan? What is this game? But anyway, it's this whole fucking rabbit hole. And I mean, I love spooky, weird, creepy videos on YouTube that no one can explain. Like, one of my favorite ones, me and Shane talked about it with you at Leland's before, where it's like this guy's channel is like just normal Let's Plays or whatever, or like gameplay footage and him talking over it. And then there's one video that's like a girl and she's wearing a mask and she takes it off and it's another like mask, but they both look like it's her actual face, and it's really distorted looking.
Okay.
And she's just talking like normal, and then starts taking the mask off and she's still talking like normal. And it's like, how did either they edited that or it's like the most amazing mask ever. But that video originated from that guy's YouTube channel that's just all Let's Plays and game footage.
Okay, and, I do remember you guys.
Yeah, and it's like, where did this come from? What the fuck is this? And it's unexplained. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's just weird, yeah.
Yeah, so I love that shit. There's also a bunch of like ARGs and like augmented reality games, like where like you go on a website and it has like a bajillion links. You have to navigate all the links to get to like the end, and it's like these crazy puzzles and all this. And it does stuff to your computer. Nothing bad, but like
it'll mess with the like open the disk drive or whatever.
So Mudahar, that's why I really liked him doing that. But I also used to watch his old content before I'd go to bed when I was like 19. I would like. I worked at Little Caesars and I stayed up really late because I had to close every night, and then so there's no reason to be awake during the day.
Right.
And so
awake before you have to work.
Yeah, so there's no point. I'd rather just like do stuff after work. And so I would stay up really late, and then while I'm like laying in bed, I would put on like Mudahar reading creepypastas. So I heard like so many creepypastas because of fucking Some Ordinary Gamers. And so I've heard many different Sonic creepypastas. I've heard all the video game characters with creepypastas. Some of them are cool. I mean, there's famous ones like Schoolward Suicide, which we put on the podcast before. Dead Bart, which we talked about on the podcast before. I think it was we had your brother on and we talked about Dead Bart.
Yeah.
And, those ones are always dumb because they're always based off like, this is a hidden episode that... blah blah blah, and it's never true.
That the MPAA won't let you see.
There was an interview at Comic-Con with Matt Groening, and they asked about Dead Bart, and he just started crying on the spot. That's not real. No. But yeah, but there's one that was like, there's actually an abandoned Disney theme park in like Africa or something, and it's weird that it's in Africa, and is
that the one in?
There's one that it's completely abandoned now. It only lasts. I think they built it and then it never opened or something.
Is that in like the Eastern Bloc of the Russian, like the Soviet Union?
No, they definitely never made Disneyland in
okay,
Russia.
I thought there was like a Disneyland Poland or something.
There might be like a theme park there, but it's definitely not that.
Okay.
I mean, but also old Disney stuff, like the old Disneyland and Disney World. The mascot suits were really bad, and they look like uncanny and creepy and yeah. And those are great, but yeah, there's like actually like an abandoned Disney theme park, and so someone made a creepypasta about a guy going there, and then a guy in a Mickey Mouse suit was like walking around. See that? Well, it doesn't scare me. That's like a cool concept that I would love to see that realized in something. So, yeah,
it would be like creepy if it was real.
Yeah, if someone was actually walking around an abandoned amusement park in a costume, you would shit immediately.
Yeah.
So, we're getting on a huge tangent here, but I'm just talking about Sonic, but
yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Now we're on.
But I think Disney World is even cooler because Disney World has like hidden passageways that only like the employees know about, and there's like all this cool. There's like all those rides with like the animatronics. That what if someone was like walking around in that area? Like
you wouldn't notice.
Yeah,
like not everyone would anyway.
Right. There's so much potential for something with Disney, like not like the company, but like Disney World being scary. That I love those concepts, but.
Yeah.
But it's not just like it can't be a ripoff. It has to be specifically Disney World because like we all know all this other information about it. Like there's like apparently like I can't remember what time period, but apparently they used to have like this secret plan in case like the apocalypse happened. And so they had like underground area with like a whole bunch of like breathing masks and stuff, like this like doomsday scenario for Disney World. That's fucking crazy. That's so creepy.
Mickey Mouse themed atomic bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and so there was a creepypasta based off like something like that too, where like that situation actually did happen and it was like a false alarm, but like people actually like, had to go do it. Like that would be cool as fuck. So, yeah, Disney World is fucking weird. But
Walt Disney was fucking weird.
Yes, he's a weird person for sure. Everyone always likes the jokes of him freezing himself, but I'm not sure. There's like no evidence of that, right? That he ever like actually froze himself.
I was pretty sure he froze his head.
Yeah, but it's dead now. Like if you froze, freeze your head, you're actually dead. Like you're not.
Yeah, no, I mean he didn't get frozen like alive.
Yeah. Oh wait, so he just wanted to preserve his body? Like he didn't care about staying alive?
I think so.
That's weird.
I think
that's fucking creepy. Why
the
would
thought used to be that if you froze your head, at some point they'd be able to build you a new body.
Yeah.
And reactivate your
that's
brain.
That's like Futurama is based on with all the talking heads.
But I mean it.
Yeah.
Brains don't work like that.
No. Yeah, you can't just have your brain turned back on after it's been separated from your body after blah 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 blah.
Well, you can do that too, but you can't freeze it first because just like see, he's freezer burned at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like, for sure.
Like,
yeah,
you can't just do that for. I mean, he died in what, like 68, 67, something like that.
Yeah.
So he's been frozen for 50 some odd years. I mean, that would make a good creepypasta. Yeah. Just like finding Walt Disney's head.
I don't know if there's a creepypasta about Disney's head, but there's an iCarly episode where they're making fun of the Disney Channel, and they're saying Disney Channel has boring shows. And then, but they said the Dingo Channel. They called it the Dingo Channel. And so they go there, and they yell at writers because iCarly has a show in iCarly called iCarly.
Right.
And so they say, you're stealing ideas from iCarly. So it's a very meta way of them saying, fuck Disney Channel, don't watch Disney Channel, which is kind of stupid because they're all ripping off each other anyway. But
yeah.
I admit, the Nickelodeon shows I liked more growing up. Not Zoe 101, though. Zoe 101 I didn't like.
I don't remember that.
That was Britney Spears' little sister.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But it was like just like a preteen drama show that's... I don't know. It was always weird to me. But anyway, even as a preteen, I was like, these are fucking awkward and not realistic. Like,
yeah.
But I liked the goofy ones, pretty much. I just like the funny ones.
That's why I always like cartoons.
Yeah.
It's because they were like... You can only take yourself so seriously with a cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, Ed, Edd n Eddy, that's like...
Yeah.
That's like the best cartoon about like being a kid because it's so not realistic at all, but like still relatable in weird ways.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of kids living at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. It's like you relate to the idea even though like what they do is just no. Everything they do is just bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always liked... I don't know. Anyway, iCarly, there's an episode where they go to the Dingo Channel and they find Charles Dingo's frozen head and they take it. And they just have the guy's head. I think they give it back at a later point or something, but they just have the head.
Yeah, okay.
It's like you're just trying to say fuck Hannah Montana, the show, or fuck whatever
whatever it
Sweet
was.
Life of Zack and Cody, whatever show was on Disney Channel at the time. Like, fuck that show. But then you also are like, the entire corporation? Fuck the creator? Fuck his stupid head? It's like, damn, Nickelodeon, calm down.
Dan Schneider went all out for
Dan
that
Schneider's pissed. Why didn't he freeze the foot? We should have froze this fight. People actually like the new iCarly, but it's on Paramount Plus, so I'll probably never watch it ever.
Yeah, I mean, what do they have then? Like Star Trek and iCarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would... How much did they pay? Isn't it fucked up how you can just be a huge TV channel and say, I'm going to do a streaming service because it prints money, but only the successful ones print money? They didn't learn anything from like the DC app, for example.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's okay if we fail. We'll just spend a shit ton of money to get people for at least a few months to watch iCarly or the Stargate reboot or whatever.
Well, and they can always hope for a merger, which is what the DC one ended up getting.
Yeah.
Because now they're tied in with HBO Max.
Yeah, DC's
and
doing good.
They just got a fuck off budget.
Yeah.
Where they...
Yeah, Harley Quinn season 3 is coming.
Yeah.
And... we all know about the Batman.
Okay, we didn't talk about that
we
last
didn't talk
week
about
when
it
it was actually a thing, but yeah.
It was one of the it was an amazing moment because like everyone, like all these DC Twitters started... and comic book writers.
Zack Snyder? Did you see Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder posted something. He posted a picture of the incident and said canon.
Yeah.
But it's funny that like the guy who wrote Nightwing, he writes like the current Nightwing, he like said something and like he said like Batman might not do this, but Nightwing will, and like everyone was like chiming in and talking shit on this fucking incident, which is great because a lot of them were DC employees, and there's like I know DC's the one who said it, but that doesn't represent all of us.
Well, you know, it was some, 65-year-old executive or whatever,
yeah, it was some dumbass higher up who probably has no say anyway. He just was, I don't know. It's just that direct quote is what people, really latched on to.
That's not what a hero would do.
That's not what heroes do or something. And it's what? Is this like a crime? Like, Batman's that's what they, the DC, the animated Twitter, was it the animated Twitter or...
I don't think I saw that.
It was an official animated DC Twitter or an official DC Twitter of some sort. They posted the clip of no context. They didn't say they didn't write anything. And the clip was from Batman Under the Red Hood. And he's like, because I guess he's talking to Red Hood.
Jason
Todd, yeah. He's like, because Jason, I can't cross that line. Once I go down, I'll never go back. And that's all he said, and everyone was freaking out because you know why they posted that clip.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is it? Is going down on women equal to a crime? What is this? Why can't heroes do that? I think someone said Batman literally has a spot in his mask for his mouth to be exposed.
Yeah, it's
right there.
Didn't you ever ask why that his mouth is the only thing not covered by the suit?
The only thing not covered is his mouth. The only thing not protected. So he can do one thing. No, apparently heroes don't do that. I think I have a wallpaper up I think this is from the Arkham Asylum comic.
Okay.
The Arkham Asylum comic is really gory, and the visuals are all like this. They're all really abstract and very dark and hard to make out. And it's it's supposed to put you in a weird mental state, basically.
I mean, that fits kind of with the Arkham games, especially if you play the Arkham games really bright.
Oh,
it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Have the same effect.
The original Arkham Asylum, they put a bunch of Metal Gear Solid moments where it just completely the moment where the game glitches out and stuff all the Scarecrow moments are that's everyone's what they remember about the game are the Scarecrow moments.
Yeah.
The game's just really cool, and I love reading hearing all the interview tapes, hearing the Riddler talk about why he does what he does, and they make him sound like an actual serial killer instead of just a crazy guy. That was really cool. I love all the interviews. The Harley Quinn interviews are just her interviewing Joker, and you see her slowly turning into Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
The interviews were that game was way too good for what it was, and then WB Games was you have unlimited money to make a sequel. So those two, it's Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. They're very different games, but they're two of the best games period, in my opinion. And they inspired a lot of games after that weren't Batman. But now I think
similar styles.
I think people are kind of doing their own thing. They're going back to ripping off Assassin's Creed again and not ripping off Batman anymore.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Whatever. It's okay. The Spider-Man games do their own thing, and those are pretty good. So.
Those are really good.
I think those, honestly, compared to Arkham Asylum, which is like this Metroidvania small-scale game, I like Arkham Asylum more. But compared to like Arkham Knight and Arkham City and Arkham Origins, I think I like Spider-Man PS4 more. Right? It's just like it's just like a better open world exploration superhero game, pretty much.
They also came out 8 years apart.
Oh yeah, no, they learned from the mistakes of the Batman games.
Like it's I don't know. I definitely really like Spider-Man. Yeah. But for the time, I get why City and
Arkham City is a masterpiece of a game for sure. I mean, it. Some people are like, "Oh, you like," because I would say like those are some of my favorite games ever, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, because you're a Batman fan and you read the." I didn't start reading Batman comics until I played Arkham Asylum. Like, I liked Batman. I watched the animated series as a kid, and I knew the characters. I knew the villains. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not familiar with Batman, but I got
everyone knows who Batman is.
Like, I got way more familiar with the DC universe after playing Arkham Asylum. Like. And so it makes you a fan. That's the difference. That's how you know it's a good game.
Because they fleshed it out in a fluid way. And like, it's not a long game.
No, it's as much you get what you put into it because the exploration side stuff is it's done really well.
Yeah.
In Arkham City, the same way.
Like the story part, it isn't long. It's the fact that you have to go find Bane and blow up all the stuff. You gotta go find. All the Riddler trophies, which I've never done that, honestly. But
I've done that for all 4 of them. I really like those games. They're really fun.
That's dedication right there. Like
it's like, to me, it's like what you do when you beat the game, because it's like, but like the rewards are actually good. Like the stuff you find, like Arkham City, I can play that game. Like there's so many little details.
Yeah,
and. What I love is the one thing that Arkham Knight does really well is when you look at a sign and then turn around and look back, the sign's different. And instead of being whatever bullshit advertisement, it'll change to Batman and Joker because Batman's like crazy at this point.
Yeah.
And I would do that. And there's so many fake Joker signs. There's like 50. And like sometimes like it's like you see a poster of like a woman getting a pearl necklace and you turn around and look back and it's a woman's pearl necklace being yanked off and she's bleeding out and dying and it's like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love, and like sometimes you're just, the best part is, the most recent time I played this was on PS4, but I had played it on PC originally. And so when I was replaying it, I was like, grappling around, flying through the town, and I was like, was Batman on the billboard? And like, or like, there's like a statue that's like Zeus or something. And it was like Batman. I was like, wait, was Batman the statue? And I turned around and it wasn't Batman anymore. And both times I played it, I had like a deja vu moment. The second time I played, I was like, this happened to me and I forgot. And it's like, no, it makes you feel crazy. You're like, I'm seeing Batman and Joker everywhere. No, that's not in the game. And then you look, and then like you really stare at the billboard. You're like, no, it's in. I forgot. This is a fucking mindfuck game, and
that's.
I can
that's
look.
Knight, you said?
That's Arkham Knight, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah.
City also is like
City
just
has
chock full of details,
of that, but yeah,
not like the psychological stuff.
Yeah,
but Knight is just crazy. Knight is like, you would be surprised how many alternate like things there are of Batman and Joker that you just might not see.
Yeah.
So, I do love that Arkham City had like achievements that were like talk to Calendar Man every holiday of the year, like one holiday per year. Or one holiday per month. And there was like, they had like achievements like that, like find this thing. And so when you complete all the achievements, you think you found everything in the game. You got all the Riddler trophies. You did all the bonus stuff that have nothing to do with Riddler. And then there's just also, what's his face? Scarecrow's secret lair, because Scarecrow wasn't in that game. And it's just like extra content that no one, when it was reported on IGN, it was like, new secret for Arkham hasn't been found in 3 years. The game's been out for 3 years and no one found the secret till now. And it's the first guy who found the secret. And it's like this random boat. You can like do a thing and it opens a hatch. And there's like a bunch of shit that pretty much it explains what the plot is of Arkham Knight.
Which was Rocksteady's next game.
Yeah. And so they had like all of this shit. And I was like, are you like? I was like, I don't know. It just blew my mind because I was like, they pretty heavily said like what Arkham Knight was going to have, and then they waited like forever for that game to drop.
Yeah.
And so it made you think like, man, they really had it all planned out. Like, yes, they had it all planned out before City even like came out. Like, but I mean,
it's awesome.
Yeah, obviously they had to kill the Joker in City so that way you could have the Joker hallucinations in Night. So, which they also said Mark Hamill's last time playing Joker was going to be in City. And they said it like the day City came out. Like they had this huge thing like all the way. It's like Joker's not going to be he wasn't in any of the advertisements or anything. And then in like it's like the second chapter of the game, like right when you beat the first big level.
Yeah,
that's when the Joker shows
basically
up.
the tutorial.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, it you don't realize you think it's like the first level, but it's actually like the what do you call it?
Intro.
The prologue or whatever.
Yeah, prologue. Okay, yeah.
And then Joker's just there throughout the game, and you're like, and it's Mark Hamill, and you're like, oh my god! And like I played it like the day it came out, so no, it wasn't spoiled, and I was just mind blown because like he said and Injustice came out, and Mark Hamill wasn't Joker, and everyone else from like the Justice League show was in it.
Yeah,
and like all these DC games kept coming out, and they would have like the Batman from Arkham. I forgot his name. He was also the Batman in the animated show.
Kevin Conroy,
yeah. Kevin Conroy was doing all these Batman roles, and Mark Hamill just wasn't taking Joker roles.
Yeah.
Just so he could do this one thing. Like
just show up out of nowhere, yeah.
That was insane. That was a Hideo Kojima moment. Like that's never like games don't do that. Like and he wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing the animated
trailers for anything ruin.
Yeah. He wasn't even doing the animated movies or anything. Like, he just wasn't doing Joker, just so he could come back for this.
Which is crazy because that's been his like longest running role.
Yeah, but now he does Joker every so often again.
Yeah,
but like, it's just so funny that like they managed to pull this off where he had to wait like 5 years and then boom, that was insane. I love those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go, we do have to talk about. We could honestly, I wouldn't mind saving it for Shane because I know Shane would be more hyped to talk about the Crowder stuff. But it just happened, so I do kind of want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we have the video up. I just showed Jeremiah for the first time, but I've talked about on the podcast before that I'm a fan of the Majority Report, and I started watching Majority Report probably the same year that I started watching H3H3, like 2015 time. Like it was around Bernie Sanders' election.
Okay.
Because like I didn't like the Young Turks, right? Like you.
I don't know if I've ever watched one of their videos.
Okay, so you only know of them.
I know of them.
Yeah, I didn't. I used to like them a lot during Obama's second election because they taught me a lot about progressive politics.
Okay.
And I learned that there was an option where you can just hate both Republicans and Democrats because as a normal, functioning, sane American, you probably do hate both of them unless you're already like in the propaganda brainwash.
That's the whole thing with everyone just spouts out, lesser of two evils, no matter which side they're on.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It's
like, that's fucked up.
I didn't like... When I was a 15-year-old, I didn't like Obama when he was first running against McCain. And the second time, it was annoying because all my friends were always like championing Obama for the second election. That was the first time I could have voted and I didn't. And
okay.
I'm not like the biggest Obama hater. I think he was one of the best presidents we've had in the last like 5 decades. It's just that's not saying much. Like Clinton was fucking trash.
5 decades was Nixon.
Yeah, like we just haven't had a good president in a long time.
Yeah,
and Clinton was a terrible Democrat president, and that's what most people think. They think Clinton and Obama, and now they think Biden. That's what they think Democrats.
Yeah.
And Clinton was fucking trash. He's arguably worse than some Republicans. And Obama is a lot better than that. So I'm not like the biggest Obama hater. Because if you look at the specific details, Obama's better. But I'm not satisfied with him. Like, he's not the guy I want.
No.
And so when people were like always celebrating him, making him seem like super badass all the time, it gets on my nerves. So, anyway, not to ramble too much on.
Yeah.
I watched Young Turks, and then I just kind of started getting upset with them after Bernie lost. Like when Bernie got kicked out, there was no point in still watching them. And they had Jimmy Dore on, and Jimmy Dore, like he used to work for them. And they also used to have Dave Rubin before he became a huge Republican sellout. And so that's like a fucking hilarious like factoid that these two people who now hate the Young Turks, they got their start in popularity and fame from being on the Young Turks. And so Jimmy Dore would always say Bernie should go third party. He was one of those guys.
Yeah.
And the rest of the guys would say no. And Jimmy Dore is like, we should all vote for Trump. Because if we vote for Trump, then America will see how bad the Republicans are. And then they're going to vote for the Democrat next time. But if we vote for Hillary and she wins, nothing will change. This didn't work because obviously Biden won by a landslide, but like it's the same thing as if Hillary won, basically. Like, we're still in the same shitty DNC Democrat situation.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing has changed.
So it did exactly what that guy was talking about.
Yeah.
They gave us male Hillary.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Biden...
Like, instead of going like, wow, how the fuck did we lose to this guy? They were just like, we gotta double down. They didn't like that it was a woman.
Yeah, Biden did
like,
they did
it
the
wasn't
same
the
strategy.
fact that it was a woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's what she was saying. Like...
It was the fact that... honestly, I don't think Biden has a huge level of support either. I think it's literally just...
He's got the blue D next to his name.
Yeah, they just wanted to not vote for Trump. But Biden ran on, we got to beat Trump and Bernie can't beat Trump. And, hey, I can get the things done. Bernie can't get the things done.
Yeah.
And a lot of people believe that. Because why would they believe that someone as radical as Bernie could get people to compromise? Problem is, Biden, we are seeing now he can't get the things done. And he keeps making these promises of like canceling student loan debt and all these great promises.
The big one I care about with him is the border crisis with the whole kids in cages thing. He hasn't...
No, Kamala Harris said don't come to America. She went to the south of the border just to say don't come here.
Yeah.
They're not changing anything. And they haven't. Nothing has changed. The whole thing is we still have concentration camps in this country, and it's one of those things. It's hard to remember all the horrible things America is currently doing. Funding Israel, kids in cages, all the wars around the world anyway. Like, we haven't done... Oh, and just like still letting billionaires do whatever they want. We're not punishing them for liquidating all their capital so that way they don't have to pay taxes. So, like, we're not punishing anyone.
Moving it to offshore accounts.
Yeah.
And...
We're just... Nothing is different as of right now. I think the only thing that really changed was Biden undid Trump's executive orders that were like super transphobic. Which is like good. I like that. But...
It's also kind of...
It's like, it's a little, what do you call it?
Lip service.
Lip servicey, yeah, that's the word.
Where it's like, okay, so this is a problem that is a problem, but it affects 0.25% of the population.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of you are really mad about it, so I'll fix this. I won't fix anything that's gonna help the 99% of you.
It's like, trans people should be allowed to go in the military. The people who talk about this issue, they don't even get trans people who are in the military to like come out and talk about this issue because I don't think there's very many. There's very little.
It was kind of one of those things where I feel like a lot of them looked around like, wait, we were doing what now? Like,
and so like, it's like, that was a heinously fucked up thing that Trump was for. And I mean, we're in 2021. It's surprising when people are still homophobic or anti-LGBT in any way. Because it's like, no one cares about this.
Yeah.
The Republicans, like most normal Republicans, don't even care anymore. Unless you're like in the deep South. Most people don't fucking care. So, I mean, I feel like it's not going to be too much longer where gay people have more respect than black people. Like, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Caitlyn Jenner was kind of the mark for that because she's the next step into the LGBT thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh look, like an Olympic athlete from the 70s is now...
And she's a huge, like, Trump person.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's like... It's weird because it's like Trump's still super anti-trans. It's like, we have trans people in our party, we're against all their rights, though. It's like, you can't do that. But, I mean, if you're rich, then worrying about your class, like your race or your, like, whatever, your thing, the thing that makes you oppressed, you don't really have to worry about it. You can just be rich and not give a fuck. You know, like, super rich black people don't have to give a fuck. The ones who are cool, like Killer Mike, who didn't leave Atlanta, who, like, keeps his money in Atlanta to help his city, that's a rich black guy who cares about his people. But you don't have to. Like, you can just be ignorant of all the issues once you're rich. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so Jenner is a great example of that. Like, why the fuck should Caitlyn Jenner care about trans military people? Seriously, why the fuck should she care about trans military people? It doesn't even affect her.
There's no...
Yeah. Yeah, she's trans. It might affect... like, if you're a rich woman, why do you care about abortion? It does not affect you. Like, you will get it taken care of if you need it taken care of. You can have...
Regardless of the law.
Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You know... I mean, look at all the rich people who abuse drugs. Like... It doesn't matter. If you're rich, the law doesn't really even affect you anymore. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Right, yeah.
So why would you care about your oppressed
Well, and they'll talk about
class?
it, too. They'll go into, like, interviews. Like, these rich people will be talking about, cocaine and whatever. Yeah. And it's not an issue for them in any just, like... If any of your, like, neighbors here in this neighborhood... got on the radio or whatever, or got on TV and started talking about, like, oh, we smoke meth.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna come talk to him.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking an awful lot about smoking meth on on KSDK there, yeah. Like,
yeah. I know. No, it's true. Like, so of course you can be a Republican and be black or be transgender or be anything. You can be a Mexican who loves Trump. But hey, man, my family's not getting my kids aren't getting put in cages. That'll never fucking happen.
I know a family. It's from not the church building that I used to go to, but the church, what do you call it? Like, just denomination?
Sure, yeah.
The denomination I used to go to, there is a Republican Mexican pastor.
Yeah.
Who's very pro-Trump.
Yeah. And yeah, because if it's not going to happen to him, then why should he have empathy for his own? Like, normally, people when it's happening to your, like, I want to say race, but, like, we're talking about LGBT stuff too, and possibly even women. So, like, when it happens to your thing, whatever makes you oppressed, it should be easier to empathize because you're like, that could happen to me. And that's why, like, you'll even see, like, basketball players, because basketball players are rich, but they're not, like, fuck you rich,
Yeah.
They're millionaires. They're living fucking nice.
Yeah.
But if you're...
Like, they're not...
If you're a black basketball player, covered head to toe in tattoos, and you're not wearing... you're not recognizable because you're wearing street clothes.
And you're not...
And that's the
one
fashion.
Of the big,
that's just the fashion.
You're not, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you're not Shaq.
Yeah.
So they don't recognize you. Fuck, you think every white cop watches fucking basketball? No. And that's why
I bet a lot of them do.
But
honestly.
you wonder why, like, basketball players are more vocal about this shit? It could fucking happen to them and their kids. It actually does affect them. That's why the NBA and the NFL, like, they're super vocal about, like, Black Lives Matter, because they're like, they still have to worry about this shit.
Yeah.
Because if a cop's like, I don't know you, motherfucker, I'm arresting you. So
kind of a tangent, like, unrelated.
Yeah.
But it is... You just put the visual in my head of, like, a white cop trying to, like, fuck with Shaq.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would, like, even if he did not recognize Shaq, that would not go well. Like...
Oh, well... Shaq does have that Papa John's, ESPN, fuck you money, so I don't know.
That too, but I just mean in a physical confrontation where they're both going in blind.
Yeah, but you have to also remember cops are very quick to pull the gun.
I feel like Shaq could take a few hits.
Possibly, yeah.
He was not allowed to join MMA because
he's too big.
He's too big.
Yeah.
They had no one that he could go up against.
Yeah, it has to be... Well, normally I know weight class, but I wonder if it was because of his weight or
weight.
Yeah, I didn't know if they made like a specific rule, like no, you're too tall, you have too much reach, or something.
I think reach was part of it. I think like that's like, a big deal. They just went down the list of like his stats, and they're like, we have no one you can fight
in boxing and in MMA. They always list like when they list your stats, it's your weight and your height and your
wingspan.
Well, we just said the word. Your reach.
Yeah.
Because that's important for comparing. Like, if you have less reach, that is something you need to worry about. You need to make sure you have a good defensive strategy. Cause,
you gotta get in closer than the other.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to be that. You want the reach. But yeah, so I understand Shaq would fuck people up in MMA for sure. It's one of those things. It's a good thing he joined basketball and didn't go do something worse.
Yeah.